So we are off to Artec this morning, but this is what I'm dealing with at the moment. Ice on the inside, buzzing. If you don't know, when I was in Europe, my climate control unit shot itself, and this isn't it's a daily, but not, basically, yeah, well, it's not a daily. I've got a works van, so this basically sits there until I need to use it. So I've not had a chance to repair it, so the heater matrix isn't working as such. You've just got to drive and get heat in it, and then it brings the air through. So yeah, it had been a ball ache trying to drive for the first 5 minutes of this morning, but we're on track now. Let's get down there. We have arrived. Not a bad journey down there after the car de-iced itself and I got some heat in here. It was freezing for the first half an hour. But once you get going on the motorway and it's blowing air through, it gets hot in here, so that was decent. But yeah, I'm a little early. I'm just going to chill out for 5 minutes and then make my way in. So yeah, I don't know how much filming I'm going to get. I'm going to take my gear in and hopefully I can get a bit of filming done. Like, you know, time lapses of me being taught how to weld. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And then we can get the van welded up then. So we basically started doing everything from scratch. I'm a complete novice when it comes to welding. So the boys down there just showed me everything from the start. Spot welding, welding 2 metal pieces over, 2 metal pieces together on edge, and these are some of the results. So we've got spot welding, welding 2 pieces over so we get the penetration, and then these are the bits on edge. So that is us finished at Artec. Shout out to the guys. Shout out to the guys, mate. Dead friendly. You know, I mean, I'm not shitting on the profession of welding, but made it easy for me to learn how to do it. Obviously not extremely well, but well enough that I can weld the van together. And once I get a couple of hours underneath my belt, will be even better. But we loaded up in the back with all the gear from these guys. Again, the 181 was easy to use. Basically turn on and a couple of buttons and you're done. So yeah, proper chuff. So now we're on the way back home to get the van welded up. I've been down to Artec, you've seen that in the previous clips, and now we're ready to get the van welded up. The only issue with that is we could do with some room. So obviously all this is my granddad's and bits of mine, but I'm thinking for welding up brackets and stuff like that, having the welder here, and then I can move it if needs be to the van when I'm doing that. But yeah, we could do with sorting that out first before we bring everything in, so let's get that sorted. Right, now I've got a bit of room for the welder to sit because I am going to be knocking up brackets on here. I've got to weld the floor up. You know, that's the piece that's going in, but I need to weld it up on that section there. But I'm going to get the welder out of the box in here, set up, and yeah, we'll get a nice setup going. So then this can be the welding station for now. So this is effectively what you get with the kit, the welder and all the bits and pieces. So I need to set this up. We've got a nice little instruction manual here with everything in it, how to use it, how to set it up. So what we're going to do, I'll set it up for a time lapse and we'll start setting this up. I don't think I'm going to get any welding done today, or if I am, it's very little. I've started late, obviously I've got to set it up and yeah, make sure everything's right. I've been to pick some gas up this morning, so yeah, we're starting a bit late, but even if I can just get the welder set up so we know it's working, and then we can come back tomorrow and yeah, crack on. So the welder was dead easy to set up, but I'm just having issues with sorting the plug out here and getting the wiring where I wanted to get it going. Once we'd done that, we added the wire into the welder and then we was pretty much set up and ready to go. This is the aftermath. So gas bottle set up over there, strapped in, welder set up here. All this that you see is because I had to make a spanner that worked for putting like the regulator or whatever it is on the end of this gas bottle. I could start welding now, but it's a shithole in here basically, so I need it setting up proper before I start doing all my welding. So I'll probably end up getting just that floor section pieced up today, and then yeah, we can crack on with the rest of the welding tomorrow. I've been getting caught up. This welder is probably, well, the easiest machine I've used welding wise. I'm getting carried away. What we're doing is we're piecing up the floor. So obviously dropping absolute dimes, no. It took a bit of getting used to get it set up right, but it's tacked in place, and we're just going to work along welding this in, and I've got to cut a piece to weld that in and then weld all along here, just securing the floor back to the rail on the side, and then we can weld this piece back in the van. So I'm going to set you up for a time lapse. You can watch me crack on. I'm showing you everything, so these are my first attempts. Obviously it ain't the prettiest at all, but I'm pretty chuffed with the way it's fully penetrating and I'm not blowing through the metal. I just need to get more time on it. This is like the first time without any help in my garage, so yeah, we just need to just keep practicing basically. Unfortunately, I've not got enough metal to practice on, so we're practicing on the floor. Obviously these bits are going to be hidden, whether it be underneath seats or, you know, it's not a focal point. Nothing is really what's going to get welded up on the van. It's just practice. So I'm just going to clean these up with a sanding disc to see what's penetrated, what areas need work, and yeah, we'll crack on from there, ladies and gents. But pretty chuffed, to be honest. So in this section we're just going over what I explained in the previous bit, tacking certain areas in. We don't want to work in the same area too much, because on metal this thin, especially it being French, it just starts to warp. You can see me get the hammer out there. Once the metal has warmed up from the welder, it's easy to manipulate and get it where you want it to be. So I've had a grind back, we're good here. We've got a few little discrepancies along this one, so I'm going to repeat the weld across on this side and then yeah, grind it back and we should be good to go. Like I said, absolute novice at this, and I need to learn. I need to learn, because as the builds progress, I just want to keep building cars, and I need to be, rather than outsourcing the welding, I want to try and do majority of it in-house. So we've got to learn some point, ladies and gents. So I'm going to crack on with this and then I'll show you after I'm done. So here is the other patch, which is this one here. Obviously you can see I've absolutely smashed it down there. Tacked it in from this side, but majority of the welding has been done from the inside. Again, not the prettiest, but we've got to learn, ladies and gents. So we're just going to keep smashing these off, grinding them back. Yeah, practicing really. Got a sheet of mill here that Gareth's let me borrow for the little patches that I need throughout the car. And yeah, let's crack on and get this car a bit more solid, eh? So I'm going to grind them off now, see whether there's any areas that need a bit of work, and then hopefully we can get it in the car. So this is where we're at. The floor is tacked in. Now, I found it easier welding on the bench, because obviously I've got all that room, but trying to get the, I don't know, the gun in, if you'd say that, trying to get the gun in, and yeah, it's awkward basically, and you know, when you're welding actually onto something that's fixed in place, rather than being able to move the piece that you're welding. But it's not bad, it'll hold up. We're pretty solid there. So it's Sunday, Neve's got Sunday dinner cooking at home. I'm going to head home now and leave this as it is. I'm getting there. Obviously I need to learn. It's more like getting used to not carrying on welding in the same area so it doesn't start warping. Obviously putting panels in and not overlapping, rather this trying not to like blow through certain bits of metal, and then I'm having to piece it, like, you know, piece it back up. But yeah, it's one of them, we've got to learn, and I've been told it's not how good you are of a welder, it's how good you are of a grinder, so I can live by that. But yeah, this is where we're finishing this clip off. In the next clip, hopefully this will be all welded up. So we are back and on a new phone, so I'm hoping you can see the camera difference, but we'll see. So I've not been up here in about a week now. My welding skills are probably gone, but I've just had a quick tidy up at the garage, set up a new phone, and we're going to crack on. So let's get in there and do it. So this is where we left off. Yeah, I was struggling for lighting in here, and this thing, it's a desk lamp that I've literally clamped to where the shifter bit goes, and it just provides that bang on light. Yeah, I'm going to crack on. I'm not going to film this because it's going to be a lengthy process, and all you'll see is just me keep tacking certain areas until the full floor's done. But once the floor is done and I think it's ready, I'll set you up and we can jump on it and see whether I fall through or not. So fingers crossed we don't, but let's get cracking. So this is the time that you've all been waiting for. Is my welding any good? I mean, you know, you give it the old, that'll be good. She ain't going nowhere. Let's test it out. I mean, I can't really jump on it, but I am putting more weight on it, and it seems to be holding up. That's what we like to see. Right, so to finish this section off, I've got a piece cut there and I just need to bend it obviously to suit, and then I've got a little bit on the top side of the silly which I've got a cut for anyway, and then that'll be this side pretty much done. Chuffed to bits, chuffed to bits. So let's get that, well, I've got it cut, let's get it bent and then we can bang it in. So this is where we're finishing off. Patched up, patched up, patched up, patched up, and I've just patched one up down there. I've been underneath the car for quite a bit because where the handbrake cables run through and where I piece the floor on the tunnel, one of the frame rails is like, there's like a little bit on the thing, so I've got on the actual floor piece that I put in. So I want to connect them, so I like do like a sheath sort of over it and then weld that through. And then there's a section where the handbrake cables come through and a piece of that was missing. So I've welded that in. I'll need to drill an hole when the handbrake cables get here, so I know what hole they are. But I think I've close to running out of gas, so I'll have to pick another bottle up this week, I think. Pretty chuffed at the momentum that we're going at. So I've got a little bit of welding that hopefully I'll get done during the week this week after I pick another bottle of gas up. And then, yeah, we can get, hopefully by next weekend, we can start painting the underside and seam seal and everything. But yeah, I'm not going to film the rest of that process because obviously this video is a lengthy one already with the cutting and the welding. But you can see that even if you are a novice, you know, it's practice, that's all it is. Hope you've been enjoying these videos, hope you've been enjoying the driving videos, more for them to come. But thank you very much for watching and I'll see you in the next one.